Aloha to all of you from Hawaii, Keawe, the island of Hawaii. It's me, the Traveling Bee. Let's go on another trip around Hawaii. Welcome to Hilo Bay. You're looking out at the highest mountain in the world from the bottom of the ocean, Mauna Kea, which stands at 13,800 feet. And there's also a very sacred island out here known as Mokuola, meaning the island of life. It was known to be a healing place and a city of refuge for people who broke any laws. For those in need of healing, they would swim 3 times around the island. Many Hawaiians knew that swimming in the ocean was good for many ailments. Hilo is located between Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa to the southeast. And the island of Hawaii has every type of landscape and weather known on the planet. We have glaciation up at the top of Mauna Kea, Lake Waiau. Hawaiian volcanoes are the classic shield volcanoes, and that's why they have that shield-looking shape and curve to the mountains. As you look out into the bay, to the left, you see the longest cape over there. That's known as Laupahoehoe Point. And the tale is that Pele and her half-man, half-pig boyfriend, they had quarrels all the time. Well, she was really mad at him one day and chased him from the top of the mountain with lava all the way down into the ocean, and when he jumped in, he became the Humuhumu Nuku Nuku Apua'a, meaning the fish with a pig-like snout. Shield volcanoes are much less violent, so to speak, than a composite volcano, such as Mount St. Helens. And this island is alive, and we have been having some earthquake activity from the Kilauea volcano. In addition to glaciers on the island, we also have an acid desert, rainforests, tundra, and alpine systems. And this island consists of 5 volcanoes: Kohala, Hualalai, Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, and Kilauea. And off the coast of the southeast rift zone is the submarine volcano Lo'ihi. Hawaii Island is about 1 million years old, and that's how long it takes for the island to move over any hot spots. And currently there are 2. And even though geologically it's considered the youngest island in the Hawaiian genealogy of the islands, Hawaii Island is the oldest. And as we drive north from Hilo, you're looking out at Hilo Bay. And in 1946 and 1960, tsunamis hit Hilo Bay. The 1946 tsunami hit on April 1st because of an 8.6 magnitude earthquake that hit the Aleutian Islands. This tsunami was racing at 500 miles per hour across the Pacific Ocean, and it hit Hawaii, killing 159 people. And then on May 22nd in 1960, a 9.5 earthquake registered off of Chile. Hilo Bay was hit with a 35-foot wave and killed 138 people. And visitors can learn more at the Pacific Tsunami Museum in Hilo. And we'll be traveling up this coastline known as the Hāmākua coast. And at one time, many areas along the Hāmākua coast was filled with sugar for as far as the eye could see. Hilo town is situated at the base of both Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. And we're now going down to Honolili'i Bay, which is one of the most popular surf spots here in Hilo. Very much different from the island of Kauai. These are very big bay areas, and in the ancient days, chiefs were known to be able to ride these waves for at least a mile inland. Hawaii Island consists of many valleys along the Hāmākua coast here, and their bays are magnificent and expansive. The valley mountains surround you, and the Hāmākua coast is home to some of the most famous waterfalls here on the island of Hawaii. More inland, we have Akaka Falls, which is one of the highest free-falling waterfalls in our state. And the other famous waterfall here on Hawaii Island is the highest free-falling waterfall on the island, and that is Hi'ilave in Waipi'o Valley. Both of these waterfalls have beautiful songs written about them. In particular, Hi'ilave. The famous song, Hi'ilave, is written about 2 sweethearts that meet up in Waipi'o. The Hi'ilave waterfall joins with the Wailuku waterfall, and they make one waterfall, as do the sweethearts when they join together. But Waipi'o Valley is aware that these two sweethearts are having an affair, and like the birds chirping in the mornings, they are gossiping about the two sweethearts. Many artists have recorded the song in different styles, and it's a favorite that we love to dance hula to. Hāmākua Coast is also home to what used to be the largest ranch in the United States, the Parker Ranch. John Palmer Parker arrived in Hawaii and married a Hawaiian princess, as did many businessmen or foreign men that came to Hawaii and acquired land. As I was helping out with the King HONOLI'I celebrations, I met Brooke Kapukuniahi Parker, who is a descendant of John Palmer Parker. Brooke Kapukuniahi Parker is a very talented, well-known historian, genealogist, and artist here in Hawaii. Check out the King HONOLI'I playlist that I have, which features Brooke Kapukuniahi Parker and his artwork. And we are at ONOMEA Bay. ONOMEA Bay has a tropical botanical gardens here. Back in 1995, the state and the community and the owner of the property had to make an agreement so that people were allowed to use the bay. All beaches in Hawaii belong to the state. There are no privately owned beaches. Therefore, you must have public beach access to these bay areas. They're called Native Hawaiian fishing and gathering rights. Unfortunately, the owner tried to stop that and put razor wire in the bay to prevent people from coming over into the bay from anywhere on the shoreline. And in addition, he did not designate an area for public beach access. All of this was going on while I was attending college here at the University of Hawaii in Hilo. In 1958, one of the sea arch structures here at ONOMEA Bay collapsed. This side of the island is known for its multitude of landslides and rock slides, which is how these beautiful steep valleys were formed. And again, the water that's coming down in these rivers is ice-cold water coming down from Mauna Kea. You can see why the sugar plantations were interested. It takes 3 gallons of water to produce 1 sugar cube. And where we have had these huge sugar plantations, you will find small communities that were created by the sugar plantation workers. When the sugar industry first started here in Hawaii, the Chinese were employed first. They came as contracted laborers for 5 years. But after the 5 years, they had to return to China because the business people in Hawaii were afraid that the Chinese were better businessmen than they were. Other people that came to Hawaii to work on the sugar plantations were Japanese, Filipino, Korean, and even from Portugal. The Portuguese were hired to be the luna, or the bosses. There was a high demand for laborers because at this time, as foreigners arrived and brought diseases that Hawaiians had no immunities to, the population seriously dwindled. From 1778, which is the first year Captain Cook arrived in Hawaii, until the overthrow in 1893, the Hawaiian population had decreased drastically by 80%. As you may have noticed by now, we don't have sand beaches necessarily on this side of the island. These are filled with boulders and stones and rocks. And then you have this magnificent 50-mile shoreline here at Hāmākua. And here we have our first railroad track siding, and a bridge no less. And of course, the trains were used to transfer the sugar cane to the sugar mills for processing. The sugarcane industry in the 1880s introduced the concept of picture brides here to Hawaii, especially from Japan, Korea, and maybe Okinawa. Many men came to work on these sugarcane fields unmarried. So they would send their picture. You know how it goes. If you haven't seen the movie Picture Bride, I implore you to watch it. It's filmed right here in Hawaii. A great story. I mean, haven't seen it, and so haven't been around landscape like this in such a long time that you forget it exists.
Yeah. And again, this is a big island.
Yeah.
So enough food for everybody to eat. Just past the way.
See, up here you have the ginger, avapuhi. That's the yellow ginger. The white ginger is prized, but you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Calamite. It's, you know, electronics, right? They're not always so convenient at first. We're now back in Hilo, going upland, and we're going to stop at the Wailuku River at a place known as Boiling Pots. The Boiling Pots are a geological formation from big boulders coming down the stream and over the waterfalls. And as some of these boulders are pounding their way down the stream, they are creating these massive holes. And as the holes got bigger and bigger, and the water is rushing down the mountains, it appears as if the water is boiling, like water boiling in a pot. This is also the area that the Battle of Wailuku took place. Hina, the mother of the demigod Maui, lived in this area, and she was constantly harassed and tormented by a large mo'o, or lizard. One day, this large mo'o lizard, Kuna, he throws boulders down while Hina is inside the cave back here, and she is blocked in the cave, and all the water starts to fill into the cave. Maui arrives here by canoe, comes to her rescue, and he hits the lizard with a large club, temporarily knocking him out. But when the lizard comes back, Maui requests help from Pele, and she sends fire into the river, and the river begins to boil. Pele saves the day by killing Kuna. We'd be wearing Fat Jimmies of Hawaii. Don't just be fat, be comfortable. Travelin' Bee is filmed entirely on location in Hawaii. Mahalo nui loa to all of you for joining me, the Travelin' Bee, for this exciting trip to the island of Hawaii. As we say here in Hawaii, until we meet again, a hui ho and aloha.